All right, welcome everyone. So finally, a green day. I kind of miss these days. Let me tell you that. Yeah, the chart, well, the map looks quite interesting. So you have technology app, consumer cyclical app, and then you have consumer defensive down, energy stocks mostly down, utilities almost down. So consumer defensive is not working, which makes me believe that maybe people are pouring money from those safe havens, during the tariffs, and maybe they are selling those stocks and they are buying the tech and consumer cyclicals again. So I don't know. It can be just a coincidence, but I like to see these maps because it kind of tells me what happened during the day. Really interesting. I have auto manufacturers. They're up quite a lot. I mean, Tesla had earnings yesterday. I didn't go through the entire earnings report. Maybe I'll do that today. So just a quick heads up on what you're about to see. I'm going to do the usual market analysis, market update to see what's going on in the markets because I have no clue what's behind the bull run, I got to say. And by the end of the live or by the second part of the live, I'm going to do a particular stock analysis for Pfizer, which is what I have been working on today. And I don't know, it looks quite interesting for a possible short position. And the stock looks extremely cheap. It's undervalued. It looks really good. I believe that you had activist investors back in October. I think it was Starboard that bought about 1 billion back in October last year. Institutional activity is absolutely insane. 80% sequential increase in new positions in the last quarter. I mean, Pfizer looks amazing, and I'm planning to short it. So I'll go through my thesis in a moment. And by the way, you can see that finally I got a group. I don't know how you call these things, a group or community. I don't even know how Reddit works, to be honest. I'm learning that. I will be learning today during the live. So I finally got a community where I'm planning to upload my thesis. And the idea is very simple. You can join as well, by the way. You have there the link. The link is in the description, by the way. And by joining there, you can roast me, you can roast other people, or you can just upload your thesis and be roasted by other people. So there you go. It's a community to get roasted. That's the whole idea. And I like Seeking Alpha. I will be honest, but they're quite tough, with the edition. The editorial process is quite stringent. So this is more like Wall Street bets, but for people with brain. That's the intention, at least. In any case, it's private, so you're gonna have to join. I don't even know how I can approve you. I got no clue. You're probably gonna have to click on a button to join, and then I don't know. Next time I check it, I'm gonna have to add you. Let's see how this works. Great. So yeah, let's go through the markets first because I need to understand what's going on. So as you probably know, I use Seeking Alpha to see what are the trending news. That gives me an idea on if there is anything important, it's gotta be on the trending news. So by most in 12 years. Plunges by most in 12 years. Holy shit. What the heck happened with gold? Holy shit. Oh, and I was close to buying this. I was really close. Not gold. I was into, how you call this? Special minerals? I forgot the name. Rare minerals. Holy shit. What the heck? I need to know what happened. So, gold future. Am I going to read this? Yeah, it's not. I have a summary, by the way. I usually use. I want to show you because probably you haven't seen that before. What I do when I'm lazy, like now, you can just copy the article. I do like this. Bam. Okay, I go to ChatGPT. Is this even legit? Yeah, it's legit. People say it hallucinates. It hallucinates if you upload the 10K summary or stuff like that. Otherwise, it's fine. So I use PR summary. And let's see what the article is about. By the way, this is using um, a vocabulary that's easy to understand for people like me that's stupid and has no freaking clue when people are using these fancy terms. Fuck that. I want to know. This is, I think in English you call it a layman language. So there you go. Summary: gold futures fell 3.6%, biggest since April 2013. Fuck, that's crazy. You see what I mean? Was this because of a tweet? The price drop for President Trump assurance that he will not fire. Oh, okay. Reducing, so he will not fire Jay Powell. Ew. Reducing uncertainty about the U.S. monetary policy. Exactly. As I said in my, was it a live or a video? I don't remember, but essentially gold and these defensive stocks made sense when there is uncertainty because people were running away from tech and semiconductors, like myself. I mean, heck, I analyzed Philip Morris in my last live for freaking 2 hours, and now I'm not gonna buy it. How is Philip Morris doing, anyways? Because this is a defensive stock. This is, and I believe it's at all-time highs. Oh, crazy! Look at the breakout, man. That's insane. All-time highs. Let me use the weekly. All-time highs. Wow. And this thing is a defensive stock. It's a tobacco stock. I mean, there's no growth here. Crazy dividend, by the way, but I mean, when I say there is no growth, take into account that out of all the tobacco stocks, Philip Morris is the one that has the best momentum. I mean, over how many? Like 3 months, it's been up by 43%. 3 months. You tell me a stock that has this performance since January. You tell me. Wow. Okay, Philip Morris. I don't know what to do now. Should I revisit Philip Morris, the thesis again? I don't mind buying on the way up. I'm not worried about that. Interesting. I like it. Okay, something to consider. All right, so we have less uncertainty. That's good. Treasury Secretary comments suggesting a potential easing of U.S.-China tariffs. Okay, I heard about that. Further coming, investor nerves. All right, I think I had did I have an article somewhere about that? No, that's for Europe. All right, so we have the Fed chair is not going to lose his job, and tariffs from China are going to decrease. Nice. Safe haven demand declined. Oh yeah, that's exactly what I'm telling you. Safe haven demand declined. Defensive. Look at the defensive stocks. They're down. Utilities down, energy down, materials down. Oh, commodities are probably the same. Wow. Consumer defensive confectionaries. Wow. Crazy. Oh, Kroger. Anyways, I'm getting lost here. So we have the decline after Goldrich. Yeah, that was yesterday. I remember that. Traders taking profits. You see what I mean? I think the reason for this absolutely insane sell-off was profit taking. So when you see a stock like this, that's crazy. Look at it. Poof. When you see that, it's anything, any news can trigger a sell-off. Anything, and yeah, speculators took profits, which makes sense. And I think this is going to break. Like if all the uncertainty, actually I'm thinking should I short gold? Because uncertainty is only going down from here. Because we have, let's summarize, we have Jay Powell is still the chairman of the Fed. Great. Probably he's not going to reduce the number of, so he's not going to increase the number of rate cuts. Okay. On the trade side, we have the pause, which is about 75 days from now. So that's when the tariffs are supposed to be resumed. I believe that they're going to find a deal. I think last week even Trump said that, during the meeting with the Italian prime minister, he said that he's going to find a deal, a fair deal with Europe, which again, I think it's going to be just a general 10% tariff on anything from anywhere. That's it. That's the plan. I just don't understand why is it really needed to see, to ruffle these feathers, to tank the stock markets for implementing 10% tariffs on anything. You can just say 10% tariffs. That's it. And it's a bit of a pinch, but that's it. But you don't go around saying, it's 100% tariff on here, 50 here, 140 there, 20 there. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, so I think also with China, if things go down, so if the tariff goes down on China, I don't know, that can be, I like to understand which stocks got beat up over the past week in the consumer defensive or this kind of defensive stocks. Because those that got beat up just because, they are the safe haven, I think those are the ones that could be a better short. I mean, shorting gold is. Did you see this trend? I don't think you're gonna make money shorting this. Okay, interesting. Anything else? Analysts suggest gold may fall further. Yeah, I still remember last week there were analysts suggesting that it's going to go to 4,200 or 4,500. Let me just see. Was it Goldman Sachs or let's see. Gold, 4,500 price target. Look at this one. JP Morgan, of course. There you go. Could possibly Goldman Sachs. You see what I mean? That's why I never listen to this. It's just a waste of time, because they use the amount of how would I say the amount of arguments that they use to reach that conclusion is so large that one of them falls apart, and the conclusion, that figure is irrelevant. So that's why I usually don't trust these values. All right, so gold remains nearly 25% year to date. Yeah, silver. Yeah, gold was okay. Yeah, I usually don't look at these weird averages. I don't know. I do look at technicals. Don't get me wrong. I look at price action, resistance, supports. I look at those things, but not usually on these moving averages and stuff like that. All right. So anything else? Let's see. IBM. Okay, these are earnings. ServiceNow earnings. Yeah. This was another thing I saw earlier. Yeah, on autos. So apparently, we have Trump pulling back on applying harsh tariffs on auto parts sourced from outside the U.S. Okay. So the new exemption will keep the 25% tariff in place. Okay. That the US levied on imports of foreign automobiles, and a separate 25% on auto parts. Okay. What? So stocks per capita with the US reportedly backing down from high tariffs. I just don't want to bother. It's been a long day, I just want to chill, use AI. This is Coke, by the way, from Madagascar. It was on discount, it's like, if you give me a 50% discount for this shit, I'm gonna buy it. Show me where are the stocks that are on 50% discount, and then I'm gonna buy those. All right, President Trump exempt imported auto parts. Okay. While maintaining. Okay, so he's going to remove the tariff on auto parts, but not on foreign-built automobiles. So if they're fully assembled, tariff is still there, but on parts, it's not going to be around. Okay, that's good. That explains why the auto sector was up. Wow. Tesla up, GM up, Ford up, not bad. Great. Anything else? So auto stocks rose in post markets. Makes sense. Auto suppliers potentially impacted. Goodyear. Okay. It's interesting. Let's see how Goodyear rings a bell to me. How battered were these stocks because of the tariffs? Quite a lot. I have a lot of lines because I think I analyzed this back in Q3 last year. Yeah, the trend is not encouraging, I gotta say. I don't know. It's coming back up, but since August last year, I mean, August 24, it sold off. And I think it was here when I got interested about the stock. I didn't buy it, thankfully. Well, it's up 10%, 12%, 20. Yeah, too risky because I don't like to catch falling knives. I will be honest, I don't like. I don't know how long. I'm gonna have to do analysis on this. I didn't even look at the fundamentals right now, but the overall sentiment is not very positive looking at this chart. All right, so moving on. Let's move on because this is gonna take forever. Foreign sourced auto parts remains a key issue. Yeah, of course, because that's where the issue is. I was never that concerned with actual fully assembled cars going into the US. I was more concerned with individual parts because that's where you have tariffs on transmissions, or tariffs on engines or parts of engines. And if those things come from China, I mean, just the price of a car will pretty much double just based on a transmission that is imported from China. Just think about that. So good. This makes sense. Ease our cost pressures. Okay, makes sense. Yeah. Okay. How much? How much is going to ease those? Sorry. Let me check first the S&P. Okay. Ooh, up by 1.5. Post is down. Okay. It's recovering. That looks good. Monday, this looked absolutely awful. I gotta say, I was actually quite concerned. There is a pattern. A double bottom, I think it's called, when a stock bounces twice. And I was a bit concerned that this thing is gonna come back down here. And when you see that type of pattern, that's usually a signal that the stock is going to break the support. So seeing this is encouraging, I gotta say. My only concern is the tariff on semiconductors. That's why I'm not invested right now, because man, as soon as that tariff is gonna be announced, all this shit is gonna sell off. Particularly the tech stocks and semiconductors. There you go. These ones, there's gonna be a bloodbath when those are gonna be announced, which they were supposed to be announced last week. So fair enough. Who can trust the government? I do. Yeah. Okay. Nothing else. Okay. Let's have a look at Wall Street Journal. Anything exciting there? Slashing steep tariffs from China. I know that. Could be cut by more than half. By more than half? Ooh. Okay, so we have a figure apparently. All right, let's read this. Oh, that's a lot of reading. So, slashing steep tariffs from Chinese imports by more than half in a bid to de-escalate tensions with Beijing. Okay. 145 divided by 2 is 72.5. I don't know. My brain is fried. It's 70 something percent. That's a lot. That's a lot. I was expecting that should go a bit lower than that. 75% is still a heck of a tariff if you're importing auto parts or anything from the country. Oh, that's bad for Amazon. How is Amazon doing, by the way? I think it's selling off right now. It should be selling off post-market. Not bad, 4% up. Amazon is really cooked with the tariffs from China because well, they and also their customers who who sell on their platform. I don't remember the value. Was it 70% or 60% of the goods that they sell into the US they come from China? So Amazon is not a good bet on tariffs. 75, that's a lot. 72, 75, whatever. It's a lot. In a bid to de-escalate tensions with Beijing, okay. Has made the final determination. Ah, man, this uncertainty, man. Discussions remain fluid, and several options are on the table. Okay, so we have a first rumor. Apparently, one official said Trump wouldn't act unilaterally and will need to see some action from Beijing to lower tariffs. Yeah, I think Beijing is going to lower them. I don't think they have anything to win with those 125% because the US imports, how much is it, like 100 billion to China, and China imports like half a trillion to the US. So, you know. Okay, China tariff were likely to come down to between roughly 50 and 65. Yo, that's a lot. That's a lot, man. I don't know if the market is going to like this. I don't like this. And I just learned about this. I just learned about this value. I That's a lot. I was expecting 30%, and even 30 is a lot. But if you import a transmission from China and you pay for that 50% more, that's still a heck of a tariff. Anything else? Let's see. China last year 35. Okay, less 1% for items. It's been clear China needs to make a deal with the US. Okay, when decision on tariffs are made, they will come directly from the president. Anything else? It's just pure speculation. Man, speaking of speculation, I gotta say, you know the rumor that came 2 days before April 9 on the post of tariffs. Yeah, so there was a rumor, I think it was Bloomberg, I don't remember the source. There was a rumor from someone in the White House saying that they were gonna post the tariffs. Yeah, and that was on 2 days before the official announcement. And I read the rumor, and I also read the comments of the secretary. I don't know, Leavitt. I don't know how you pronounce that. So she said it's bogus. And like, okay, I'm gonna trust the U.S. It's a U.S. official. She's got to be legit. She probably knows that the information is false, and that's why she said it's bogus. I want to believe that she didn't know that tariffs were gonna pause. That announcement is gonna happen on Wednesday, and I want to believe that she didn't know that the official announcement was gonna be released 2 days later. So, she said it's bogus. I said, okay, yeah. What happened is that call option on that day, there was a contract trading for like $1,000. 2 days later, it was trading for 1.5 million. 1.5. Shit. So yeah, don't trust the government. I don't know. That's my opinion. I mean, it's so random. I feel like they're just winging it. It's just pure speculation. Anyways, White House spokesman Kirsten said, okay, later on Wednesday, Trump has an offer to take down the U.S. tariff on China. Okay. Hasn't offered to take down the U.S. tariff on China. Okay, on unilateral. Anything else? They're just filler words. I don't think it's worth reading all this shit. It's just filler words. All right. So we got something there. 60, what's it? 60, 50 to 65. Ouch. I don't know, man. That's a lot. That's a lot. I don't know how the market is going to react to that. Anything else? Sorry, let's go back to the Wall Street Journal. Yeah, okay. Stocks right for second day, but lose momentum. Did they lose momentum because of the China value? Let's see why they lost momentum. Okay. No, so everything here we already know. Yeah. US is trading, okay. Tesla was up, gold retreated. Yeah. Bitcoin. Oh shit, it's at 94,000. Wow. Okay. Anyways, let's go now through the screener. I think I have a good understanding now of the macroeconomic. Well, this is not a good understanding. This is just a general basic scratching the surface type of, knowledge. But that's, in my opinion, that's enough. So I already know that that tariff on China is still way too high. And I don't think the market is going to like that. Can the S&P rally on the announcement? Yes. But long term, 50%, 65% on goods. That's a lot, man. That's a lot. Anyways, let's go through the screener. I'm gonna show all industries and let's see what exciting things have happened today. Filter by top movers. There you go. So, what do we have today? Uranium was up. What? Why? EU. That's a nice sticker. It's trading on the Nasdaq. What? Next generation. I don't get it. DNN. Oh, I was short DNN 2 months ago. Nice. Nice. That's because I sold. I think I made like 60%. It was not a lot. Was it 60 or something like 60% profit on DNN? It looked awful, by the way. DNN, Tennis on Mines. You see what I mean? When you see this trend, when you see this trend and this increase in volume, this spike in volume, it is certainly concerning, at least to me. I don't think here people were buying the dip. I think that here a lot of people were selling like no tomorrow, getting rid of their position. And this was the reason. You see what I mean? I used technical analysis. I think I had course expiring in July, and I sold them like a month and a half later, after I shorted the stock with puts. By the way, you see, breakout of the pattern, bam, and it just goes down. Do I think it's going to continue to set off? Yes. So I don't know. I wouldn't short it now because the upside is quite limited, and I think the puts, they probably look absolutely awful. 68%. By January 26. 65. Okay, IV is high, but yeah, it's high. It's high. There's no but. It's high. Yeah, and there is barely any volume. Yeah, forget about this. Anyways, uranium is up. Let me show you something that I do. This is gonna be extremely how I say that word? Extremely controversial. I'm gonna use this shit to do analysis. I pay for this. Why uranium stocks are up today? Bam. And you have to say what date is today. April 23rd, 2025. If you don't say the date of today, it's not gonna give an accurate reply. It's gonna give you something from, I don't know, years ago, 23. I think the memory of ChatGPT is in late 23, early 24. So that's why you have to remind which date is today. Let's see. Geopolitical tensions. Okay. Did this check the internet? Corporate earnings. Okay. So you see what I mean? So some replies, they don't check the internet. And the way I know that is because I don't see any sources. So yeah, it's I prefer this response. Let's see if they improve the next version of ChatGPT. Ah, Paladin Energy reported 70% increase in uranium. Okay, so they reported earnings. Namibia, okay. I had some shares back in the day in Snow Lake Resources. Ticker was LITM. Let's see, this gotta be up. This shit is gotta be up. It's not. So I think I bought, I don't remember. Maybe I bought around here. I remember it went up by an absurd amount, and then I just held, and I had to sell at a 30-40% loss. So greediness is not good. Anyways, highest since the mine resumed. Okay, so we got a stock that reports earnings. But is this from today? Reverse takeover. 100% ownership in Coyote. Okay. Coyote Basin. Nuclear facility generated. Okay, no, it's not the main reason. US tariffs. US has imposed a 10% tariff on uranium imports from Canada. Yeah, but this was not today. March. Now you understand why this sucks sometimes. Unless you do this and you force the algorithm to search the internet. Sources. Otherwise, I can check news on uranium. So Paladin Energy up. Anchor Energy. Okay. We'll have to stop. Maybe this is why. Yeah, this is why. There you go. You see, the geopolitics, sometimes they do drive the share price. You know? US admin, recent proposal for a 10% tariff on uranium and other Canadian goods could have significant impact. Okay. Although the tariffs have been paused until April 2nd. This is old again. So this was the news. Iran nuclear discussions. So that guy stated that Iran will have to stop enriching uranium under any deal with the US and could only import what is needed for a civilian nuclear program. Is this enough to move the market? Maybe not. But this was released today. Zero enrichment is unacceptable. Anyways, let's move on. I think there is a way to know. Going to Seeking Alpha. Let's see. I think there is a way. So if you go to news somewhere here, and can you do uranium? Commodities? Nah. Doesn't matter. So these stocks are up a lot. And there is one way to know. So if I do this, nothing. Next one, NXC. Let's see if there are any news for these stocks. Nothing. Yeah, pure speculation, I believe. USC, UEC. No, nothing since March. Nothing new. Pure speculation. Yeah, don't matter. Right, let's go back to the screener. Maybe I'll come back to uranium just for curiosity to see why that was the case. 4.8% in the industry. That's a lot. All right, semis are up. Copper makes sense. Software, internet, computer hardware up 3%. Travel up 3.8. So airlines have to be up today by a lot. Let's see American Airlines. They gotta be killing it. Wow, they lost all the momentum. I can't believe it. So today, American Airlines was up by 7% at the max, at the peak, and they're down pretty much to the pre-open figure. Wow, this looks bad. I mean, from a technical analysis perspective, you might say, buy some calls because it's going to bounce. I don't think it's gonna bounce. Let me tell you that. I look at this, and this chart looks anything but compelling because the price has already tested this support quite a few times, and yeah, the rally was short-lived, and since then, bam. I don't know. From a technical perspective, it doesn't make sense. Um, Maybe it's worth having a look from a fundamental perspective. Do you know what I'm gonna do? Let's add that to our screener. So American Airlines, I'm gonna add it to the watch list of analysis, just because it's cheap. It's stupidly cheap right now, and I know there were a lot of news. I think there was a conference. Heck, I think I even shorted American Airlines. Was it American Airlines? I think, yeah, it was, or maybe it was JBlue. You see what I mean with the memory? I don't have a good memory, but I know I shorted an airline stock and I made some money in the sell-off. That was good, but it was that was a trade. That was nothing. No, definitely not an investment. It was a fully speculative bet. Okay, we got American Airlines. Let's move on to the screener again. Show all industries. All right, so we got travel, internet, anything new, health information services, but it's not healthcare. Auto, metal fabrication. I thought tariffs on aluminum and of course on steel. I thought they didn't have any exemption. Or am I wrong? Let's see. Tariff, aluminum, steel, US. Any news in regards to this? No, nothing new. No, it's still 25. It's still 25. Okay. Interesting. I wonder from where do they import? Wow, that was a big jump. Crazy. All right. Silver is up. Interesting. And this was a defensive stock, huh? But it's down 6 over the past 5 days. Yeah, doesn't look that well. Silver was up. If you see at the, you look at the top 15, silver was the only industry that was up over the past 3 months. Leisure. What's in leisure? I'm just curious. Mattel. Peloton, okay, I know them. Fitness, entertainment. Darkness, what the hell? Madison's MSGE. Yeah, let me just remove American Airlines from there. Anyways, yeah. This is what I usually do in my day-to-day. I'm quite curious on things, and that's how I discover stocks, is by just becoming curious on stuff. It's like, what's this? What's that? Why? And then suddenly you come up with a trade that makes sense. So that's how I find stocks, is by just naturally becoming curious on stuff. Cool. Anything else, it's just modest, 1% up. Let's see who were hit by the news today. Specialty business services. What the hell? 15%. Solar. Wow. I bet they didn't like the tariffs, the 50 to 65. What the heck? Okay, I wouldn't trust this industry because I don't see enough stocks that make sense. So I have here filters by market cap, price, and exchange. But the problem I have is on the previous page, these filters are not applied. So I'm looking at penny stocks, I'm looking at the return of a lot of shit that I don't care about. And yeah, it doesn't look bad. I mean, one of these is up by 10%. 100 million market cap. Just at the edge. Just at the edge of my screener. Solar down 4%. Enphase. Oh shit. I think I did analysis on Enphase. Oh no. I did analysis. Look, I already have saved. I can't believe it. So when I did analysis, the stock was up 80%. How much did I miss? From there to here, 30%. Was it 30? Let's see the set off. 30%. and I was considering a short on this. You see, the narrative matters. The freaking narrative matters. So when you have headwinds from the administration, that you probably know that they're not very keen on renewable energies. I don't remember the thesis, by the way, for Enphase. I probably done it at the beginning of the year, so I don't remember much. But man, you know, when you have a lot of headwinds, when nothing exciting is happening in the industry, and I believe, well, they had earnings, so that's why it's down. Something really bad had to happen during those earnings. But now the stock is way too down. Way too down to short it. No chance. Man, I should stop using the word shorting. I want to buy. I don't want to short. I'm a long investor. I'm not a short. Ah, wow. So I believe that Enphase has tracked everything down, or most of the things down. This shit is up by 9%. Canadian Solar is gonna be a competitor. Oh, of course, competitors in Canada. But yeah, it's a Canadian company trading in the Nasdaq. That's what I can see there. Yeah. I don't know. CSIQ. CSIQ. Oh, this looks bad. Holy shit, this looks bad. This looks good. I don't see. Oh, I don't see any support. Yo, what the hell? There is no support nearby. This stock is hanging in the air. What the hell? So they just broke the support, however you want to call it, because that was not a support. Easily, bam. It didn't even bounce. Which kind of tells you how fucked up the industry is. Solar it's a raw industry right now. I think there were cases of bankruptcies in the US, not with public companies, but with the small installers. Many people, they had to declare bankruptcy, and that's all I remember from the Enphase analysis. But I remember it was bad for the small guys, and I guess the issues are coming up for the big guys as well. Just look at that. Wow. Ouch. 80% down a year ago. And yeah, man, I mean, I don't see any support nearby. I mean, what was the earliest? The nearest support at $3. What? That's a 50% downside. CSIQ. Okay, let me just see if there is volume on. Sorry, if there is open interest on the options market. CSIQ. Okay, a lot of puts for when? For July. Makes sense. July, we have January as well. So January 26. Oh, you have a lot of calls there. So you got a lot of puts for July 18. Let's see if there is any liquidity there. July 18, where is the liquidity? I think it was there at 8. 8 put, 5,000 contracts, open interest. Okay, so the break even is 13%. In other words, this is implying a 13% decline. So this contract will expire. Well, this contract will expire at will yield you 0 if the stock goes down by 13% by July. It's too early. I mean, I need more time on my favor. I mean, just 3 months, not my style. I need at least 9 months, a year. 22%. It's not a lot, huh? 22% implied move. When the downside was it 50%? Oh, 60% into the next support. Definitely, this is going to the analysis. And in fact, let's see. Analysis. Should I? Nah. Short is. Should I get it to short instead of analysis? Let's get it to short. Because I'm going to do analysis anyways, but that's going to be easier to identify later on why I tagged this stock for analysis. Okay. We got a few, you see? It's like fishing, you know? You fish, you get fishes. Nobody's watching the live, man. What the hell? Let me see if I have any 4 views. You gotta be joking. That's a lot. That's a lot. I don't know. I don't even know how to grow on YouTube. I have no clue. So that's why I don't care too much about, making this more professional than it is now. Right. Okay, so let's go back to this. So gold is down. We know that. This was the industry that I was considering as a safe haven. I'm very glad I didn't invest in any of those. Very glad. Oh man. Wow. It's crazy. Okay, so anything else? These are down by 1%. These are the utilities, as I said. Oil is down as well. Is there oversupply? It might be because that OPEC plus, I think they had some issues with oversupply. Industrial, telecom, rates. All right, so essentially just looking at gold and defensive utilities, defensive stocks. So hopefully people are selling off these conservative stocks and then they are pouring their money back into semiconductors. That's how I read the market today. Uranium, I'm still I don't know what to say about uranium. What the hell? Seriously, I don't know what to say about it. Over the last 3 months, everything was down. So, triple U. Is there anything new? I mean, I'm very curious. 1, 2, 3, 4. Anything new? Any news? Energy fuels to expand rare earth. No, nothing. Nothing. And that's pure speculation, man. I don't know. Anyways, good. What else do we have? I think now. So I've done the first pass. This is to look at the industries, just to have that general understanding of what's going on. If I look now at individual stocks, so I have a filter, which is a daily screener. Essentially, I'm looking for any equity that trades in the US. And I think it's US based as well. So, one day return. Okay. Should we look at huge market caps? 1 trillion? Nah. Hang on a second. These are millions, yeah. So let's have a look at this. The big guns. Tesla up 5 earnings. I've got, all right. Did they have earnings? Broadcom. Let's see. No earnings. And earnings is quite late, as a matter of fact. Okay. I was temporarily invested in Broadcom. Okay, forget about it. Yeah, I'm not keen. Unless the tariffs on semiconductors are clear, I'm not planning to touch any semiconductor stocks. I prefer to pay a premium later on. I don't want to buy now. I just don't feel like being exposed to a sell-off. Amazon up, Meta, Nvidia, modest increase. Interesting. I think they have earnings next week. Yeah, they do. That's a modest increase. I don't know. I'm just afraid Nvidia is going to become a Micron. Just look at this stock. You see what I mean? It starts to decline, and when the pessimism kicks in, it just continues and continues, and bam, 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 bam. Just look at this. I don't know. And this is a weekly chart, by the way. If you look at the daily, you can see it a bit better, you know. So I'm just a bit worried that once the pessimism kicks in, it's just gonna continue. I don't know. A bit sketched out about these semiconductor stocks, to be honest. All right. Anyways, so that was the big boys. Let's look at some smaller boys. That sounded good. Probably not gonna get banned. Okay, so what do we have here? Travel, CRM. Wow, Salesforce, Airbnb up as well. Yeah, travel makes sense. Booking.com as well. Did they have earnings? No. In fact, it's previous to earnings. They have them next week. This stock was not really battered by tariffs. It held up quite well. Wow, that looks crazy. 4,700 a share. Do they know that there is something called the reverse stock split? I don't know. Reverse split. Let's see anything that it's Texas Instruments. Okay. And what is down? So we got rates, gold, Newmont. Oh, okay. Household. These are defensives. You see what I mean? Defensive is down. Building products down. Chemicals, confectionaries. Yeah, these are boomer industries. Not really into any of this, I gotta say. Software, oil, Uber. Strange. Why? So Uber, I remember last time I did analysis was in a weird sideways pattern. And they had a good upside there with Waymo in Texas. I think they have the exclusivity. And Is it in Washington as well? They want to operate? Yeah, I don't know. Well, again, I know this information superficially. I need to go into the details in an analysis. But this is strange. It's going sideways, even though Waymo is picking up. Something to consider. Okay, Exxon. Yeah. Okay. The only surprising stock here to me is Uber. I really don't know why it didn't go up. Is it because maybe the dollar was up? Let me see. It's gotta be up. Here's the euro. Yeah, it was up. That's why. So most of the revenue that Uber generates is from abroad. And if the dollar is up, that's bad for Uber. Uber. Let's have a look. Revenue. Yeah, there you go. You see, so over half of its revenue comes from, rest of the world, if you will. And if you make revenue in euros and dollar is weak, that's great because you are, getting a lot of dollars into the financials because you report your financials in dollars. But, and this is key, if you get those that revenue into dollar and the dollar goes down, you're fucked. So I think it's got to do with the dollar. Yeah, nothing concerning. Okay, let's look at volume. This is what I love to do. This is how I actually found multi-baggers, is by looking at volume. The rest, I don't know. I do look at things. I do pay attention at the daily movers, at the 5-day, 10-day movers, but I like volume, to be honest. Right. So we have the screener. Let's have a look at today. Top stocks by dollar volume. So we got the Max 7. Netflix. Oh shit, Netflix had a spike in volume. Look at that. 5-day volume versus the 3-month average. 38%. And it's the only one. Okay, what the hell? Netflix? No full legs. Oh, this looks bad. No, it looks great. Jokes aside, it looks absolutely insane. Wow, what a stock, huh? Wow. Crazy. What was the drawdown in 22? 76%. Imagine throwing 100 grand into Netflix. And how many? It's like October to May. Not even half a year later, you tell your wife, yo, well, hi dear, I lost 75 grand. Shit. Nah, forget about that. And it took about 2-3 years almost to recover. That's the risk when you buy things that are up. Just look at this. Back then, the stock looked the same. I mean, this looks the same as this. You see, stock is up. So if you buy when it's very high and you're stubborn, like here, I will be very honest. Here, probably on this day, let me just explain you where I will sell it. Here. So that day, January 22nd, sorry, I will have beaten the bullet. How much is the drawdown? 20%. I will be very happy to take a 20% down, 20% loss, because I can already see based on technical analysis alone that this is already cooked. You can also see the trend there. Bam. Trend is gone. You see, if you were to extrapolate it, you see the breakout. That's it. Some people can say, yeah, this is a bull trap. Is it a bull or a bear? A bear trap. Because, sometimes it can go below and then bid up. But yeah, on a daily chart is less frequent than on a 3-minute chart, if you know what I mean. So yeah, wow, that was good, but it's too sketchy. It's too sketchy. How much is the valuation? How much is the valuation for Netflix? It's gotta be insane. 50p, okay. 11 price to sales, that hurts. 55 price to cash flow. Ouch. Yeah, it's expensive. It's not stupidly expensive like Tesla. What else? Palantir? Quantum stocks? I mean, do they have even valuation ratios? Yeah, that looks bad. It's super expensive. It's maybe because they have crazy fundamentals. It's gotta be with this. Quarterly. You see, revenue up in the double digits. Gross profit double digits. Operating income, holy shit. That's a big increase. This is the, by the way, what you see there is like year-over-year change. Net income, crazy. It's up as well a lot. I like the trend. EBITDA, same. Are they diluting? Probably not. Actually, they're buying back. Yeah, they're buying back. And just for curiosity, let's see cash flow, operating cash flow. Is this the actual value? Yeah. Holy shit, 2 billion per quarter in operating cash flow. Capex is like 100 million, which is nothing because these are not. This is not a conglomerate stock. You know what I mean? Okay. Free cash flow is legit, but it's an expensive stock. Gotta say that. If I look at year-over-year growth, let's look at TTM by quarter. Yeah, it's slowing down. So what you're looking here is the trailing 12-month operating cash flow growth, and it's slowing down. Yeah, I wouldn't short it, not a fucking chance, but I'm not very comfortable buying it either. I gotta say that. Okay, master, that's strategy. Microsoft, MicroStrategy. I mean, that's crazy. Speaking of stocks that are overvalued. Is this Bitcoin 2.0 or again, not something I will short no matter what, because people are looking at this. So if the eyeballs are on the stock, that's where I'm not gonna short anything like that, because yeah, on anything the stock can rally like 9%. Fuck, 9% a day. Crazy. And volume, yeah, it's only Netflix that has seen its volume up in the top group. What's this other one? Northrop Grumman. What the hell? Seriously? What happened with Northrop? Wow. Ooh, that looks bad. That was the reason for the volume. Huge sell-off. Yeah, this looks bad. Looks like a channel sideways. Again, I'm not a technical. I mean, I'm not using technical analysis alone, but to me, a stock that has great fundamentals, great narrative, great everything, but a horrible chart, it's not a stock I want to buy. So the chart to me is important. And I argue that is as important as the narrative and the fundamentals and the valuation ratios. And, you know, I don't know, when I see this bouncing back, I don't like that. Particularly the sell off, something happened. Maybe they lost contracts. Oh, EPS down. Nah, not interested. RTX. This one is a bit. I heard about it the other week. Why? Oh, sell off on the earnings. Even when you see, take the example of what was NOC, Northrop Corporation. Yeah, look at their earnings, down 46%. Yeah, compared to the expectation. Yeah. RTX up 8%, and yet they sold off. You see, it's not about the past performance; it's about the guidance as well. You have to take into account many things. I'm just interested what happened with Northrop. Yeah, is the outlook. Whole 25 outlooks. No, something happened there. There's a slide deck. Outlines, sales target amid backlog growth. Yeah, I'm not compelled about this sector. Okay, so volume has gone down over the past 5 days for these guys. Okay, let's look at sketchy stocks now. Over 100 million market cap. And now let's do the 5. There we go. These are spikes in volumes that, make no sense. Neo Corporation, MB. Hertz, of course, we already know why. It's still holding up. Wow. It's holding up after the bid up. Okay. Wow, that's Acme United. What is that? Sorry. ACO. Earnings April 17th. Doesn't look bad, the chart. But yeah, it's gotta be a defensive stock of some sorts. Global supplier of cutting, measuring, first aid, and sharpening products. Yeah. MB. I'm just curious. What's going on with MB? Yeah, by the way, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do the analysis for Pfizer today. It's getting too long to screen the markets. I think I was quite positive. Ooh. This looks like a weird pump and dump shit. Looks horrible. No, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for volume over weeks, several weeks. I don't want the 1-day spike because that's usually the usual crap, that you see on Twitter or however it's called now. MB, no. Okay, no. Hertz, I will never buy Hertz. Definitely not at this valuation. I will never short it either. Look at this. Wow. It's holding up. It's holding up and it's actually going up. Is this a turnaround? I don't know. Fundamentals didn't change much. It was just an investor that bought, and that's it. So fundamentals are the same. Okay, let's see stuff that's not as cheap. I mean, 150. Yeah, I need 3 billion market cap. That's legit. MP Materials. Not bad. That looks like a turnaround. Since July last year. Enough time. That looks like a turnaround to me. Let me use the daily chart. You have, of course, the sell-off due to the tariffs. I don't know what happened on April 21st. Down 12%. It's quite interesting. Looks like it's holding. MP. Let's have a quick look at the fundamentals. Oh, revenue is up. Fucking 50% in Q4. It's half a year. Yeah, it's what the heck happened with this company? Gross profit is horrible. How much did they have debts? Probably 23 million. It's not that much compared to the revenue. Net income down 37% year over year. And I believe that they are burning cash. They're not. Interesting. So they reported already a few quarters with positive operating cash flow. That looks good. Oh, free cash flow is crap. Yeah, they have a lot of capex. 41 million. Ouch. Commodities, you know. What can you do? MP Materials. It's not commodities, sorry. They probably deal with commodities, but this is an industrial stock. Let's see what they do. I'm not gonna pull up the 10K. Definitely not today. I'm gonna need like 5 of these to stay awake. He has a good following on Seeking Alpha. Quite a lot of comments. Okay. Recent articles. JP Morgan says near-term hit, but long-term gain as China shipments stopped. Rare earths. Just the industry I was considering. Producer of rare earth materials in the Western Hemisphere. It's a big company. Recently established. Neodymium, that's for the batteries. That's used in electric car batteries. Sorry, electric car engines, the motors. Electrical engines. Okay, interesting. And these are the competitors. Man, I don't know. The chart looks good, and they're not burning cash. I just want to know why they have such a high capex. Quite a lot of bullish articles, I gotta say that. Not that I trust them, but yeah, I'm Am I gonna do analysis? Let's find out quickly what was going on. Q4 capital. Okay, let's see. Capital expenditures. Capital expenditures in materials have dropped over the last 3 years as we wrapped up our midstream optimization and recommissioning efforts. See that a fairly steady spend on independence in April. $186 million in 24, which is down, is it? B. Cash flow, capex, annual. Yeah, it's down. Holy shit, that trend looks good. So free cash flow. My god, how much they made in 22? Wow, 350 million. What the fuck happened in 22? I don't know. Wow, that's very impressive, I gotta say. It's an interesting stock. I gotta say that. I'm gonna put it in the analysis list, and that's gonna be the last thing I wanna do today. Oh, good. All right. So there we have a few interesting stocks to analyze. This one is quite compelling because it does look like the technical analysis on this thing. It's crazy. I mean, look at the turnaround. I mean, if let me be clear, if I see this, I will never buy at 11. Never. I'm not a contrarian investor. But when I see this is holding up. It's worth finding out why today it went down by 13%. I don't think there were any news. Maybe people just, as I said, running away from defensive stocks into hype. I don't see any news today on why it was down that much. Sorry, that was a week. That was a weekly chart. MP. That was a weekly chart. This is a daily chart. Monday, April 21st. That was the news from JP Morgan. There you go. Okay, last thing they're gonna do today. Let's see what's this. So they made a statement that they stopped shipping rare earth concentrate to China, given the country's 125 tariff on US imports. Makes sense. Business doesn't make sense at that tariff level. It will continue to produce and stockpile rare earth oxide concentrate. Okay. As management is looking to fast track heavy rare earth separation, also rapid magnet. Okay. Near-term financial implications likely will prove meaningful, with midstream and downstream operations still ramping. 70% of sales. Vast majority of the company profitability last year, given losses from companies ramping. Yeah, I gotta go into the details because I really don't know what the heck is this. A rare earth oxide concentrate. No clue. Yeah. Interesting stock. So I'm gonna put it in the analysis. Just for curiosity, like what's going on with the with a China thing, but the chart looks very good. I gotta say that this, if they can pull the same operating cash flow as in 22, the upside is huge. Like 100%. Holy shit. MP. Jan 26. Oh, that's a 3-bagger almost. If they can go back to this level in 1 year, which they won't, I can assure you that it's not possible. But if you do it in 2 years, it's a 2-bagger. Slightly better. But yeah, anyways, that's pretty much it for today. I hope I don't know if anyone watched the video. Let me see the views. Fucking 6 views. Wow. That's a lot. Go figure. Bots. These are Russian bots. I don't think that these are people. In any case, nice. I hope that you learned something if you're watching this from the future as a replay. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you.